lines crossed. All 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 lines crossed.
Hey, hello. Welcome to All Lines Cross. It's your boy Lou. I have, of course, I got my co-host Ali.
How y'all doing? Thanks for having me again. Tune in, subscribe, and share. Tell a friend to tell a friend.
Nah, for sure. And then we got our guest Sylvie.
Hello, my name is Sylvie. I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
All right, well, listen. So, as you guys can see, Sylvie is an interesting character. I'm going to allow Sylvie to talk about herself. Go ahead.
What am I supposed to say to that? What am I supposed to say
Just,
to that?
your IG, all of that.
I'm kidding. Please follow my band on Instagram. That would be the best you could do. At second.opinion.band. We're pretty fucking good. We're playing at Roadrunner in Bridgeport on January 30th. You should be there. There's no reason for you not to be there. Actually, it's gonna be fucking awesome.
All right. So for this episode, it's a little bit different. You already know this is All Lines Cross. So we're definitely going to address issues that people don't want to touch. Mm-hmm. And so for this episode, Sylvie is a straight male that dresses like a female, but is only attracted to females.
That is definitely an explanation.
Yeah, I think. So for the viewers at home, everybody's watching. It was confusing to me also. So I want to ask you personally. Okay, so you consider yourself a female?
Yes.
That likes females.
That is part of the identity. Yes.
Yes. That also doesn't like men. Yes. Okay. So could you kind of like give us a little background of yourself and how you got to this point and like and what made I'm not gonna say what made you, but what inspired you to be you was born a man.
Inspired, bro?
Yeah, inspired, but you were born a man.
That's the word we get. You inspired.
Inspired. I don't know. All right. So I'll just say this. So what experience did you have?
Let me take this
to lead you.
So, Sylvie, what we want to know is what happened in life, whether it was something that happened in life or whether you just felt this way all the time, that brought you to the point where you felt like you were low-key in the wrong body.
Right. So what, if there was a specific moment I could draw upon, what led me to feel like I needed to transition? Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I guess I certainly spent a lot of time feeling like I didn't belong, or that the things that I was doing was just not looked upon as conforming. You know what I mean? When I was in high school, especially in high school, I was always really bullied for being gay or queer or whatever. And although I could say that didn't bother me super, super personally or super deep, the idea that I wasn't good at conforming, the idea that I was just a little different is something that I've lived with pretty much forever. It's also important to note that I grew up in a pretty like wealthy area, Westport border of Norwalk. My family's not the wealthiest. So there were definitely a couple different things that I felt that led me to feel like an outsider or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that's necessarily an uncommon experience. I definitely wasn't. You could ask anybody I played basketball with out in Utah that traditionally masculine mold I could never fill.
So to be clear, you are a straight male. You are a straight person that identifies as a woman
The way that so in my own words, I'm a trans woman. That's that to me personally. I don't know that I could ever pass, quote unquote, to use a transgender terminology. I don't know that I will pass as a cis woman, as someone who is born.
So explain to us, what is a cis woman?
Okay, so that's and also sorry to that. Is there an LGBTQ plus community watching this podcast? Do I have to apologize for that? I have to?
Not that I know of, but
in our fan base, okay. I doubt it. But continue.
Okay. So I guess for the general public, being cis would be identifying as or conforming to the gender that you're born as. Mm-hmm. So you're a guy.
Yes.
Right? You would be cis. You think of yourself as a guy. Yeah. Then and that's really, as far as I understand it personally, that's how I view it. Is that if you're
born,
a
cis woman is a real woman, a person that was born a woman.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and terminology like real, I'm sure that I feel honor bound for whatever reason to say that that's a matter of context, I guess, and I'm sure that would strike most people as a little, perhaps even delusional, but just for argument's sake, yes, I would view my...
For argument's sake, I am one of those people it strikes as like it's a real woman is a real woman. Like so for argument's sake, I'm one of those people.
So operating from that in that context, then yes. So I would not. I believe that I could not pass as a cis woman, and that's just something that I'm, aware of. But I'm a trans woman. I'm on estrogen. I do.
So I'm gonna give a little context as to who Sylvie is. So Sylvie is a former coworker of mine, and at the point that we were coworkers, it wasn't like to this extreme. Like at the time period, you went at your own pace as to where you were gonna be in life.
I was a closeted fucking faggot. Leave it in.
Yes, for sure. His words, her words.
I said
closeted faggot.
I said it.
Yes.
I'm looking at you. I said it. And I know you think that it's weird. I know you think it's a bad word, but it's not a bad word.
And one thing I noticed is that the last time I seen you didn't have titties.
When was that? When was the last time that we caught up? Like
about a year and a half ago.
Was it really?
Yeah.
God.
So what's up with the titties?
So those are new.
How new? Like how new did you you get titties?
So I was on so I've been on estrogen since. Listen.
Sylvia, I'm so sorry.
Don't apologize.
Right,
You have nothing. Yo, the next time that you apologize, I'm gonna call you a fat. I'm kidding.
Okay. All right, but
then you can have that title. Don't apologize. It's okay.
All lines crossed.
What does that
all
say?
Lines crossed.
Isn't that what the podcast is called?
This dude got titties.
Do you apologize to your other guests? I certainly hope not.
No.
Then don't apologize to me.
But
then don't apologize
I promise you, we have not had a guest like you.
Well, I'm honored, and that's all that I could ever hope from this world. I've been on estrogen, so what that means? I'm taking. God, what is my dose? I can't remember. But I do estrogen injections every week, and since September 30th, so rather recently.
Yeah.
And I actually remember because I got really, 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 really high about a month after that, and I could feel like, and maybe that was just me tweaking.
All right, so I have a question for you.
Sure.
Given the fact that you're attracted to females, right? What part of getting titties, like, helps you attract females? Like,
yeah.
before we were talking hyperbolically about the things that I've been up to recently, and one of those was my interaction with like in the dating scene. Obviously, like a pivotal topic for somebody such as myself. I'm 24, so I'm out there, you know. Although I said again hyperbolically that it's been, what did I say? Easy.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that the reason that I've been transitioning, is not that's not the main reason. I think that me being more confident in myself, in being able to feel more comfortable in my own body, has that degree of confidence is attractive to people, as it would be if I was a straight male who happened to be confident in himself for whatever reason.
So, just to make it clear for my viewers, so you're a lesbian.
Sure.
So you're like a dude that feels as if he's a woman and is attracted strictly to women. So like if you were to hook up with a chick, like there's a possibility y'all would suck each other's titties.
There is a possibility. I certainly hope so.
So okay, all right.
Hit me up. My Instagram is. Hold on. Let me plug my Instagram. If that seems appealing to you, then SYL_THE_STRATEGOS.
So if you a chick, I want to suck another chick titties
at Sylvie_the_strategos. Hit me up.
So all right. So I'm confused. Right. I'm confused.
Oh really?
Yes, I'm really confused because all right. You like women. You love women. You don't like men.
I do not.
But you are taking estrogen, and that creates woman hormones, correct?
Yeah. So the substance is called estradiol. So I as with most pharmaceutical things, it's just that it is part of hormone replacement therapy. That's a part of it to. God, maybe I'm a little not as well versed in this as I should be.
Yeah.
But that, yeah. So I'm in the process of adding that and replacing the testosterone levels in my body with estrogen. And
Are you afraid that the testosterone levels will drop so low that your penis wouldn't work?
So that is a thing that does happen to people, depending on their dosage and depending on the other things that they could do in transition. So there are people who get an orchiectomy? Orchiectomy? I can't think of the word. But basically they get their fucking balls chopped off.
Hysterectomy or something like that? Yeah. But like what so
that's not something that I'm necessarily interested in.
Yeah, because
at this time.
Because you enjoy having sex with women, right?
I do. And I'm also 24. So I don't know that this is a decision that I could make in good conscience being so young.
Yeah, so like it kind of like injecting like, estrogen in your body, it will fuck up your testosterone levels, and you wouldn't like it's going to come a point where maybe you can't fuck women or you can't have sex with women because but your penis is not going to get erected to fuck women because you have so much estrogen in your body if you continue to take estrogen. Am I right or am I wrong?
It's not really as cut and dry as that. There are varying reasons, and like in most medical procedures at all, and anything to do with hormones, each person's physiology reacts different to the addition of a new hormone. And that could be said not just for transitioning, but for anything, for in any procedure, in any situation that would involve adding a new or taking away another or messing with hormonal levels, because sometimes that just happens, and that happens to people's bodies naturally as they age.
Yeah.
So yes, that is a possibility. That is also like not really something that I'm terribly interested in getting to that point.
Yeah.
I also know that, I'm 24 years old. I'm going to be 25 in a couple months.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of growing to do in my life outside of being a trans woman.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And being trans is like the least interesting thing about me.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. I certainly would hope so.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know where I would like to go necessarily. If that's something, if I would like to have bottom surgery, and at this point in my life, no, I don't really. If there was, I could speak to my doctor who administers estrogen to me. I could speak to her and say, hey, the changes that I'm going through are too fast or too slow.
Much, yeah.
I feel that I would like to slow down or speed up or whatever.
Yeah.
I can make those decisions,
I have a question for you, Sylvia.
Sure.
So, would you be okay with it if it came to a point where you can't use your man parts? Would that not be an issue for you? Would that be all right, cool?
That's a good question. At this moment, I would say no. And also, something also to know about estrogen is that, and just HRT in general, because there are also, there are trans men, female to male, and that, personally, I think that at this moment in time, I don't know that that's something that I really want.
Okay.
Not to be crass, but I enjoy fucking bitches a little bit too much right now.
So the fact that you enjoy fucking bitches too much, a lot, I'm just wondering, right? So with your journey, is there gonna be a point where it's gonna be okay, my titties got big, my dick doesn't.
We hope
work,
and pray.
right?
Not my dick not working. I hope my titties get big. Anyway, keep going.
Yeah, but your dick don't work to the point where it's supposed to, because it's more estrogen than testosterone. Would you entertain the thought of dudes?
No. Well, at this moment in time, no.
But future-wise, you could?
Yeah, and I also don't think that not having a working penis would prevent me from hooking up with women. I don't think lesbians really do exist.
That's
a thriving community. Hit me up. I said my Instagram earlier.
So if your penis doesn't work, you're okay with just eating pussy and getting your titties licked or sucked.
I'm
confused.
So again, I'm early on enough in my transition, because a lot of this stuff, it's a slow, gradual procedure. It affects everybody differently. Again, as I was saying, as any sort of hormonal change does with anybody, it affects people. It affects people differently.
Listen.
Don't look at me like that.
All right.
Don't look at me. But seriously, it affects people. It affects people differently. So at this moment in time, as being on September 30th, October 30th, December 30th, it's been three and a half months.
Yeah.
It's not really been that long.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of entertaining that very specific point in my life, if it even happens at all. Mm-hmm. I feel comfortable as being 24 and only being on estrogen for 3.5 months to not really having an answer to that question. Sylvie, probably.
Well, Sylvia, I just wanted to.
I'm not a selfish individual. You know what I mean?
Understandable, and I wanted to say this.
Love to give.
Pause.
Well,
The fact that you love to give. Listen.
Relax, not to you.
No. Pause.
Relax.
Hold on. I'm gonna let Lou
For
take.
the male audience, don't get any funny ideas.
I'm gonna let Lou get his thoughts together because I get it.
I don't like your stinky, hairy fucking features. All right.
Hold on. Okay, so I have a question. It's very simple, because we all want to know this. How the fuck did you get to this point? Like,
how did I get to this point? I suppose I did not answer. It wasn't really a specific thing. It wasn't. I don't know that it really was a specific moment. It's been a gradual process, as most things are in life. Well,
so around what age did you feel like, okay?
Oh, very, very recently.
So this was like recent that you felt like, okay, I'm a man, but of course I like women, but I want to dress. I don't want to dress like a man. I want to dress more like a woman, and I want to fuck bitches.
So, dress. I think dress, to me, is a little superficial.
Yeah.
The way that I dress, the way that anybody dresses, is I guess, in a way, indicative of their personality. But that doesn't necessarily paint the whole picture.
Mm-hmm.
So
I guess
the picture that I'm getting is leather tights, titties, some like earrings that hang down and shit. That's gay. I'm just getting straight gay, but that's just me though.
Well, okay, sure, right, and that also is like a construct. Like, the reason that you feel that way is because that's what you've been told equals
Gay,
queer, or gay, or whatever, right? It tends
Yes.
to never be as cut and dry as that. And sometimes, yeah, walks like duck, talks like duck, is a duck, for sure.
Do you call people
a
gay?
man with titties? Okay, let me say something. Regardless of what I've been told, if I see a man with titties, I'm going to assume gay. Because you know why I'm gonna assume gay? Is because
it ain't assuming. It's facts. Like, you're gay.
Because my thing is this: people that are attracted to titties are men. So if you decide to get titties, you're attracting
men.
Lesbians do exist.
No, facts. They do.
Lesbians get fucked by men too.
Yes.
At some point, I'm sure, but I also happen to be friends with lesbians who would abhor that statement. I don't know that's like in your experience, that's the case.
In my experience, are you kidding me, bro? All right, so let me just get into a little bit of my experience. I have a control fetish. Like, I like to be in control.
Oh, really?
And I do.
Oh, really?
So
I couldn't tell.
So like in a period in my life, earlier in my life, I fucked lesbians. I fucked, like, especially the dykes. You know, the reason
really?
Listen, the reason why I fucked them is because in my head it was just like I wanted to remind you of what God created you to be, and that's to be like beneath me taking his dick.
Okay,
you know?
Right. That is
fucking stupid,
okay.
yo. He's
that
so
is
stupid.
So that's a very specific worldview. And for the viewers who missed my earlier anecdote, the Romans believed that, and also the Greeks, there wasn't a word for gay in archaic Greek.
Because
there's not a word for gay.
the Romans and the Greeks were gay as fuck.
Don't even, please, because I could talk about that for another 150,000 years.
Yo.
But I will just say there's not a word for homosexuality in the archaic Greek language.
Because it was a part of their culture.
It's not. I don't know that it's necessarily a cultural. It's not really a cultural thing.
It has to be.
They literally sent like boys to the soldiers to release their sexual tension rather than them sending their wives.
But that idea is not inherently rooted in homosexuality. It's rooted in control. It's rooted in domination. It's rooted in a
Okay, so before
pent up soldiers equals mutiny.
Okay,
I will say. So to your very specific worldview, you really feeling the need to have sex with dykes, that's a very specific worldview that you have. You in your life, that is like a thing that you're doing, that you believe that a woman is God's creation to be subjected to you. That's a specific thing that you think. And I think that probably some other people, maybe even people who listen to this podcast.
It's more than what I think, though. It's more like
it's a belief system.
No,
it's a belief system.
So my thing is this. If it was a belief system, it became a reality. Because at the end of the day,
as belief systems tend to manifest themselves to be.
Right. So my belief system was that this, right? Regardless of whether, like, I'll be honest, a lot of the dykes that I dealt with in my past are married to women still, like are married to women. But it didn't change the fact that in that moment that I had them, they moaned like a female. They took this dick as a female. They sucked my dick as a female. You get what I'm saying? So it's just like, so at the end of the day, regardless of how they may turn or whatever, God's creation in terms of like women being for men, that's a reality. Because I made it a reality for them dykes. I made it a pure reality.
So your one night or day or in your car or wherever, that
it wasn't one though. Like these were, it's a trust thing. As long as they trusted that their information wouldn't get out there, they continue to come back to me. And,
okay.
And let me just make it clear. This is this is a part of my past, like my past. So I don't want anybody to think, whether you got a girlfriend or not, that your dyke girlfriend is in jeopardy of me coming for them, because that's out. That's not what it is. No, that's a past thing. We're talking about 10 years plus. But go ahead.
So that experience though, especially, I think it's rather presumptuous to assume that somebody who is happily married to somebody else, well, and maybe that's also presumptuous thinking that they would just disregard their experience with you. Maybe, and some of them, they have like a secret desire or whatever or that's like a thing that they were interested in.
A secret desire to take dick.
Maybe that's so.
So Sylvie, I'll say this.
Sure.
I wouldn't say this desire is secret, because regardless of what anybody says, rubber is not the same as real dick.
Oh God.
So rubber and any gay girl or dyke will tell you that. Rubber is not the same thing as taking the real.
Can you produce a lesbian for me right now to answer that question?
We'll find some.
Because
we will definitely find some.
I would, and I'm not refuting. I would not refute that statement outright. I would just ask for a second opinion.
So back to you, Sylvia. So
it's for you, Joseph.
So obviously you dress a certain type of way, right?
Sure.
So I have it's a 2-point question. Have you been judged, and also have you been hit on by men?
It's straight men, dude, and that obviously makes me incredibly uncomfortable. My friends around me are like, dude, what the fuck? And me personally, I have not really received that attention in my life before. Feeling like I wanted to transition, I don't really know entirely why. I don't necessarily one of my friends, her anecdote was, or her 2 cents on the whole thing was that men tend to be attracted to feminine, to a feminine presentation, no matter what. I don't necessarily. First, I think that's rather presumptuous, and I also think that there's a little bit of truth in that. But I don't know. It has generally been straight men, and
okay, yeah, because I was going to ask because if you, okay, so you stated before that you're not attracted to men.
I am not.
But if you are becoming more feminine because of the estrogen and the way you dress, right? So that's what you're putting out there, though, right? So like
Sure.
like a year ago you didn't dress like this. You didn't have little titties. I'm sorry, but a year ago you didn't dress like this. You didn't have little titties. You didn't dress because me looking at you, you're dressed like a woman. Right?
I certainly hope so.
Right? So you're dressed like a woman, but you don't want the attention of a man. That's what I'm trying to understand.
Okay.
Like what is the goal? Like what is your, like, obviously dressing a certain type of way, you're expressing yourself, right? Because we all express ourselves from what we wear or what outfit we decide to put on that day. So you doing that, and if you get hit on by a man, you said it makes you uncomfortable. So how does where's the even kill? Like where, like, do you understand what I'm saying? Because it's
right,
it's
and I
really
think,
confusing.
Yeah. I'm sure that the presentation is confusing for sure. I think, and I would just say that when I get up in the morning and I put on an outfit, I don't know if anybody else relates to this. I certainly hope so. But when I put on an outfit that I think really looks good on me, I spend more time looking at myself in the mirror than normal. The reason that I dress the way that I dress is because I think it looks good. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if anybody knows this, but I am the most important person on the entire planet. I am God's greatest creation. I am the heir to the imperial Eastern Roman throne. And if somebody finds that attractive, whatever, that's not necessarily the goal to me. I crave attention from others.
Women?
Let's just say others. I enjoy because it's not, because, the attention that I enjoy from others is not always, sometimes it's platonic. I enjoy having friends. I enjoy, people complimenting me on my outfit, whether or not they want to fuck me or not. I certainly hope that not everybody who compliments my outfits or has something to say about them at all wants to fuck me. That's weird. I hope that's not, like, I would hope that that's not the case. When I get up in the morning and I get dressed, I'm not really getting dressed for, anybody other than myself. Mm-hmm. I think that a lot of people get up and get dressed just because they, the clothes that they're putting on makes them feel good. That they feel confident in what they're wearing.
Wait, so Sylvie, so you say like you get dressed for yourself, you do what you do for yourself.
I'm the most important person on the planet.
Understandable, but you have titties. Like,
well, so what? So what?
No, but who do you think is going for the titties?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
it's dudes going for the titties.
It's confusing.
Right, but that's not the reason that I transitioned was not to be gawked at. It's because I feel more comfortable in my own body, and I think that for the most part, generally the people who subject themselves to transitioning, people who go through that process, that journey in their life, they are not doing that because of the gaze of another. They in themselves, speaking personally, I spent a lot of time in my life really not feeling adequate, not feeling like, in my own estimation, I was not enough. I was not living up to whatever standard that I put myself to. in transitioning, I've been able to feel more confident and to get up on a stage. I play bass, you know. I get up and I can play on a stage. I feel more confident in the way that I express myself. I feel confident enough to be on a podcast.
Definitely.
Being observed by people I don't know.
And we really, for real, like, we appreciate that you came on the podcast and you're speaking freely about everything that's going on in your life. We really do respect that.
I do have a question though.
Sure.
You say that in your community you feel comfortable in your body, right?
Or yeah, sure.
Okay, so I believe that to be a lie, because if you felt comfortable in your body, you wouldn't have done estrogen, because the body that you were born with is not the body that you're creating. So if you felt comfortable in your body, you would not take the steps as far as to change that body.
I'm saying that in transitioning, that has allowed me to that has allowed a level of comfort that I have not felt.
Okay, so you feel comfortable in the body that you're transitioning to.
Yes. In the way that I feel right now in my life, I have not felt that comfortable ever.
Okay.
No matter what I had been doing, no matter how strong I got, you know, God, when I was out in Utah, I was 20 pounds heavier, you know, pretty fucking strong. I had abs, you know, very, like, stereotypically, like, things that people who are attracted to men are looking for, you know, whether that's women or whoever, you know. But when I looked in the mirror, I saw nothing but disgrace and, you know.
So I got a question for you.
But yeah.
So the LGBTQ community, right?
Or whatever they're calling it these days.
Cool. Right. Would you consider yourself a part of that?
I think because I'm on estrogen, or because I am transitioning, then that's just something that is a community that I am then bound to.
Okay. So
However, and I will just, you know, with a big, like, fucking
Exclamation point?
not an exclamation point, like an asterisk.
Okay.
A footnote to that statement. Although definitely I am a part of that community and that people have looked to me as, you know, some sort of like their token queer friend or token trans friend, you know, that is not, like, the things that I do in my life, if they reflect well on that community, great, you know, then all the better. Me being trans is, like, the least I said it before, I'll say it again, is the least interesting. It's a part of my identity, you know, for sure. It's going to mold the way that I'm, you know, growing up and continue to live in this world, for sure. Again, with things outside of my control, the way that people view me as, you know, being trans, that people will treat me accordingly, however they view that, you know, because some people respect that, and some people respect that, and some people don't, you know. So therefore, I'm a part. All of the stigmas, all of the opinions, all of the thoughts about that community are inherently attached to me.
So let me ask you this, right?
And sure.
Right. So, okay, being a part of that community, like, when you made the decision to take estrogen and knowing that it would create, like, you know, titties or whatever the case may be, more feminine things than masculine, like, you know, wouldn't that be, like, gay? Like, wouldn't that fit more with, like, the gay, like, community? Because I look at it like this, right? A man is a man, you know. A man has masculine things about him. You're literally trying to take away the masculinity in you. So wouldn't that put you more in as, like, regardless of whether you like women or not, you know, like, wouldn't that put you more, like, wouldn't you fit more with a gay dude than with a, like, man, like?
Yeah, to me, it's really not as cut and dry as that. Like
You're very. It's very difficult to understand you, as in, I'll say it like this: it's difficult to understand you only because you were born a man. You're taking estrogen to develop women body parts, right? But you don't. I'm just saying, but you don't like men. You still only like women.
Right, because
it's just difficult to understand that.
The reason that I'm transitioning is not
for men.
It's not for anybody other than myself.
Oh, okay. It's just
that's what I've been saying. It's not. It's
you
not
yourself, because of the transition, it seems like you're gay, bro. Like it seems like even though you're doing it for yourself, the action in itself would like.
So what is that? So what does that word mean to you?
Gay?
Yeah.
Gay.
So I'll ask that question, right?
Okay.
Because I have the way that it's viewed by some people is inherently derogatory. That the word gay means, what the fucking word that I'm looking for? Not derogatory is a good one, but it's like there are people who still believe that gay is a sin, that it's somehow against the natural order in some way. There are people who believe it as almost an evil, and obviously, I don't view that. I don't view that because it's been a thing that people have been doing for.
Just wanted to let you know I am people.
I know. And so I asked that question not necessarily pointedly, but to establish the context that confuses you.
Okay.
Because my presentation, I don't know, I think it would be confusing to somebody whose context that the context that they've grown up in is that straying from the gender binary, being either a man or a female, and that's all there is, then inherently my existence as somebody who's kind of blurring those lines, that is
a mental illness.
Right. In the context that you have been raised in your culture, then that is the way that is.
Well, I wouldn't say my culture because that is actually an American way. Like if you go through the
but I don't. Is American like? I also could argue that an American culture is like non-existent, and it's kind of just like a hodgepodge of a bunch of bullshit.
Okay, so I'll tell you this.
So let
me put it this way.
Sure.
With the new presidency coming in, I promise you that's going to be the American way.
Right, but the wonderful part about the United States of America is that the ideal is that everyone, right, is equal before the law, and
that's the idea, but that's not the reality.
Ideal. And so why? I guess I struggle to understand why the fight for that ideal, in any case, regarding anybody, would not be because me personally, like I'm not really doing anything to hurt anybody. I'm just living my life. I'm doing whatever. And my existence viewed as something abhorrent, that is confusing. I don't understand why my existence is viewed as by some as like evil or somehow so against nature that it like I don't understand. That doesn't make any sense. You ever heard of a eunuch?
Mm-mm.
Never heard of a eunuch.
Okay. Please explain it to my viewers.
So, if you viewers have never heard of a eunuch, then I would advise anybody to listen to the History of Byzantium podcast.
No, just any sort of historical reading on ancient China.
A eunuch is a man who, in his usually as an infant, was castrated. And so when you're castrated as a man, as an infant, you grow up without the testosterone facilities in your body, right? This is a practice that has been going on literally in human history, in ancient history, for fucking ever. The Romans banned the creation of eunuchs, but that didn't stop them from importing eunuch slaves from outside of their empire. Turkish slaves were also prized within the Persian courts. The Achaemenids, the Seleucids, and then the Sassanids as well. And they're also, actually I won't touch on that. But however, their status, obviously as men who didn't grow beards, put on weight differently, tended to be a little fat, spoke with very high-pitched voices, obviously because they lacked the testosterone. They were abhorred by society, especially by Roman men, who viewed them just as effeminate and weak. Two things that Roman men could not stand, especially if those traits belonged to another man. But eunuchs, they allowed themselves that their status as unable to produce an heir, and also as unable to lead armies traditionally, that led them to, they could do things that Roman men could not do, such as hold very, 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 very high imperial office. A perfect example is this guy, Basil Lecapenus, who essentially was a Roman emperor in the 10th centuries. The 10th century.
I don't even mean to cut you off.
Yeah, cut me off. It's fine.
What the fuck does that have to do with you, though?
That has to do with me is that
I want to understand
these are
you.
Right. These are people in history who have been given the dice roll that they got, right?
Yeah.
They are just a certain way. They could never fit in. They're a part of the society. Their bread and butter, their livelihood comes from the patronage of another person.
Okay.
Right? I happen to exist in a society that, like, by every propagandizing piece of the American Constitution, of the American nation, I, as an American citizen, have agency, I have freedoms, I have unalienable rights that as long as I possess, a United States citizenship, I am allowed to do
whatever
essentially
you want.
What I please.
Whatever you
that
want,
is
yeah.
that is the American dream.
Yeah.
No matter how effeminate,
Yeah.
how abhorrent I may seem to some people, that my unalienable rights that people fought and died for, right? That is a right that I have.
So you're not.
Personally, I think that's great.
Yeah.
And that I support anybody doing if they're not hurting another person actively, in their, then why would I not?
So why is it that you guys look at it as not hurting a person, but what if it's hurting society? So
in what way is it hurting society?
Okay, so my thing is this, right? Regardless of how you see it, your actions will be looked at by the younger generation and the children, So by you doing that, it's giving a narrative that this is okay. Now, children are impressionable, so whatever you instill in a child's mind will stick with them. You know what I'm saying? As a kid. So like when you teach a kid 2 + 2 = 4, by the time they are 15, you can't tell them any different. You cannot tell the kid that learned that 2 + 2 = 4 is different. Like that 4 is not the proper answer because it's been instilled in their head.
Okay, but
through education.
Through education.
And that's because 2 + 2 does equal 4.
All right, but
that is a
I'll
fact.
give you.
That's a fact.
All right.
So,
Is it not?
But someone.
But I'll give you
I'll
give a different example.
Some fucking math loser is gonna put some shit in the comments.
Yeah.
That's like 2 + 2 doesn't actually equal 4.
No facts.
And I'm telling that person, you're a fucking faggot, worse than me.
But at the same time, though,
Fuck
like
you.
so I have so I can say so
That's a
so me, right? I can say
Leave it in.
So I could say you're gay. What would you say to that?
I would say that if by your definition of that,
Yes.
right? What is your definition of gay?
You.
Yeah, basically. My definition of gay
is you.
Well,
a dude that want to get titties.
This hat says "Mammon ain't easy" by the way for the viewers. Sure.
But seriously though,
in that case, I would not attempt to refute you.
So
I could not refute.
So
you
if I was to come out and say
you're fucking gay, as
you're
shit, dude,
fucking gay, bro,
then
as
and
fuck.
Whatever your response is to that, I'll have a rebuttal. Right? Is to then why you dress like that? Then why are you taking estrogen? Then why is your silhouette a woman? You get what I'm saying?
I certainly hope my silhouette is a woman.
But
I
no,
certainly
but
hope
I'm-
I pass
but
like
I-
that.
Listen, no,
I
but
certainly
seriously,
hope so. God damn.
no, but seriously,
This
right?
is the most gender affirming thing that I think that's ever happened.
No,
to me
but
in
for
my entire
real,
life.
but for real, like if a stranger if you're pumping gas and a guy walks by and be like, you gay as fuck. And like, what the fuck are you gonna say to that? No matter what you say to that, you're the one who dresses as a woman. You're the one who you might have a higher pitched voice because of the estrogen, and you have brand new titties. Like it's like you're portraying a woman, but you don't want to be but you don't want to be associated with liking men. It doesn't add up. You know what I'm saying?
Well, also, so there is some fixation on. Like I also don't. I know in my life that I don't control those perspectives
That's
that
true.
other people have. I know that in my life. I am at a level of maturity in my life that I know that people are gonna.
You gotta smoke both of them.
Bro, this shit is crazy. I'm not gonna lie. Listen, cause my follow.
I'm really blowing everyone's mind. Listen,
This is crazy.
Really quick, just to finish for me to finish this thought. I know that inherently to some people my like presentation is going to be controversial or whatever. I know that I can't necessarily control that. And I would never, because I can't control the way that I can't control my first impressions of people. I see people dressed a certain way or acting a certain way, and I'm like, yeah, you fucking suck, or whatever, or or you're cool, or whatever.
That's a great point.
Everybody in the whole world
Are entitled to their opinion.
They're entitled to their opinions. Opinion ban on Instagram. And everybody is entitled. Everyone is entitled to that, right? That's also an American ideal, I'm sure, right? That's not so abhorrent. I think that, and I will say again, the reason that I am dressed, it's also never so topical to me. That's skin deep, When I wake up in the morning, since transitioning, when I get out of bed, when I eat breakfast, when I practice my instrument, I brush my teeth, take a shower, whatever, I, in my own life, feel more fulfilled. I feel happier. What does the Constitution say? The pursuit of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That is an unalienable right laid down by the Constitution.
Okay.
That's what I'm doing. And if somebody, in the street, if I'm pumping gas, right, is like, you're fucking gay or whatever, I guess, I guess that's, but in my life, and I would not attempt to refute that, because in my life, in the things that I'm doing, yeah, maybe it's a little gay. Also, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So
I make money, I pay my bills, I pay my taxes, I'm nice to my mother. What?
So you're not gay, you're a lesbian.
Which is, I guess, in a lot of circles, is still pretty gay.
So
That's gay as fuck.
So it's gay as fuck. Yeah, I would not necessarily. The only reason that I asked for the definition of what anybody thinks gay is because if your definition of being gay is somehow,
a dude with titties, that's gay as fuck.
And so that may be so in your perspective, and sure, right, whatever. I also like, who cares? You know, I'm
Me?
doing, yeah, I guess
The dude, listen,
brother,
the
my
dude at
family.
the
So,
dude
but-
at the gas station, right?
The dude at the gas
that
station,
drops off your mail, the dude that at the
man
cash
loves me.
register.
I used to take care of my neighbor's dog, and we would talk all the time. So,
But
I don't know.
But I'm saying though, this is a everyday man. An everyday man, you know, most men do care about that. You know what I'm saying? Most men do care of their interaction with someone that they think is gay. Because if I know you're gay or I suspect you're gay, I'm going to move a little different. You know what I'm saying?
And so
I'm going to move a little different because I don't want to get hit on, and I don't want you to think I'm into what you're into. So so in a basic conversation, I'm going to like not let it be known, but I'm going to give you like, I'm going to keep my distance, not crazy distance, but you know, like letting you know, like I'm not going to be too friendly or anything like that. But you got to understand, because like if you're not gay, right? You say you're not gay. You like women. But my whole thing to that is, do you get offended when men hit on you?
I tend not to get offended at really anything.
Okay.
And I will tell you, because I'm hopefully, what time is it? Yeah, maybe I'm going to make it to the show that I'm going to tonight.
Yeah.
Right? And let's say that happens. To be offended would to insinuate that something bad is happening to me in that moment.
You like the attention. You like the attention.
Do you like the attention? Because like
I
you
like,
dress a certain
hold
way.
Hold on.
Do you like a
hold
certain attention that it brings?
Let me just make this really clear. I'm a pretty vain individual. All right, attention paid to me is by my right. You know, in my head,
because you're the most important.
Because
thing.
I'm the most important God's creation on the entire planet. Right. So whether it's coming from somebody who I think is super attractive, a woman or whoever, or
wait,
yeah.
When you say or whoever. So you could find a dude attractive.
It's not like I would ever do anything with them because that's my choice. But listen,
no. My question is though,
listen.
My question is though, would you find a dude attractive? Yes or no?
Maybe, I don't know.
Okay.
And that's also like a matter.
That's just gay.
Sure. And so I think like the appreciation of a human's like.
So you don't see men and women, you just see humans.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
all right.
I'm fucking like I think a little deeper than that.
Think past just genders.
Because right. And so that's why I wouldn't get offended by that, because that person is looking at me. So whoever that person is, let's say it's, you know, a 6'4" white guy, because that happened the other day. You know?
What do you do?
With fucking
he grabbed your butt?
I would stab him. Leave it in. I have a butterfly knife in my bag.
That's crazy.
You said leave it in, dogs?
I have a butterfly knife in my bag. Don't fuck with me.
Leave your... Okay, cool. Just specify that. You said leave it in, bro. That's a big point.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Let it be known that I meant a butterfly knife, and the two of them immediately thought about penis. So... who's actually gay?
Yeah, I ain't gay.
Anyway.
You listen.
You got the titties over there.
I wasn't really thinking about dick in that moment, but I guess you guys were. Anyway, no. In that moment, right? That person, if that person saw whatever on God's green earth I am and thought, damn, okay, and decided to have a conversation with me, why would I be offended by that? I had to very politely say, dude, I appreciate that, but thanks for the drink, but go fuck yourself. Like I'm good on all.
So men,
female for real.
Yo, so men buy you drinks?
It happens sometimes.
And you accept them.
It's a free drink in this economy.
So
in this economy, come on, man.
So come on now.
Why do you think I got a second job?
No. You love the attention. You really do love that attention.
You like it.
You love it.
Is one so impossibly thick-headed that if somebody buys them a $14 cocktail, that they're gonna go, I don't want this because
Bro,
it's from
if a dude
man.
come up to me and say, "Yo, bro, I want to buy you a drink,"
Then you could say,
I will
okay.
literally look him in the eye and be like, "I'll beat your ass."
Well,
I don't let men buy me drinks that are not my friends or I am not there with,
Bro,
you
I
know,
won't even
because
let
I
a
could be
dude-
there
And
with
that's-
my girl.
and that's
I could be there with my girl.
and that's a
I won't
boundary
even
that
let
you
the
have.
dude buy my girl a drink.
And that's
Exactly,
a boundary that you have. And that's a boundary that you have. But that doesn't.
And her friend's boyfriend could be like, "Oh, nah, this round's on me. I'll buy it." That's when I will let a man buy me a drink. But I'm not letting a random man that I don't know buy me a drink, because that right there is sending signals that you don't even know. You don't even know what signals you're sending.
Believe
right
me,
there.
I'm aware of what signals.
You're aware of it,
enjoy-
but you
accepted
accept
it.
it.
You accepted the
I
signal.
enjoy free drinks. I do. I'll go on record. I enjoy free drinks, and I
So
also
not only are you a she,
again,
but you're a whore.
Yeah, I was so
I mean, but in theory, in practice, I go home and I read my book, and that's what I do. Or I play Apex Legends. I really need new teammates.
you are an interesting person, for real.
Most people
for
are.
real, for real.
Most people are.
So like
most people are quite
yeah,
interesting.
yeah, most people are. But like, so like, you have never been with a man?
I guess we're gonna get to this. I mean, never in a way that I was like super happy about.
Yeah.
You know.
So, and when you say that, and this is just a subject that we're gonna bring up, given the fact that we asked them ahead of time if it would be something we could talk about. So, would you like to elaborate on what you mean by that?
Yeah, I will say, in my I've been privy to other people's experiences that are similar to mine.
Mm-hmm.
And they tend to be, you know, for, I guess, just straight up homophobic after that. And, you know, I found myself in a situation with a man that I didn't really know. I was pretty drunk. I'm pretty sure, you know, in that moment, and it was a little while ago, a much more foolish, more rash, more irresponsible version of myself was too careless, for sure. I indulged in far too many drinks.
Yeah.
And by the time that I knew, you know, by the time I was like, oh, I see what's happening, you know, then it was already kind of too late.
It was too late.
And there wasn't anything that I could necessarily, because I wasn't sure that if I resisted or attempted to, I wasn't sure that I was going to be successful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because, you know, I could reach for my butterfly knife, but then I kill somebody.
Yeah.
And I don't, or I die.
Yeah.
And I personally,
So, are
hold
you
on,
saying-
hold on. Just really quickly. That was something that I had and still do like live with, that I was taken advantage of in a way where, you know, and the reason that I'm not like super homophobic or whatever is because I don't attribute that to him liking men. Because at that point I wasn't transitioning. I wasn't really like out in that way. It was still something that I was considering or, you know, toying with in my head. The reason that I don't think that him being gay was the reason for him to do that is because men rape people no matter what. Really? That's just a thing. It has nothing to do with sexuality at all. That men force themselves upon women. It's you know, Lou, I love you, buddy, and I know that you would never do that, but it is a control thing. It's like it is
depending on who the person is.
Well,
like,
I'm telling you that action is not defined by anybody's sexuality. It's defined by somebody's morals.
Yeah.
By somebody thinking in their head, like, I can take what I want. I want this thing. I want this person. I want this action. I don't care how the other person's feeling.
I have to
hold
disagree.
Hold on. Because
Just on this.
Because listen, like that action of taking advantage of somebody in that way, right? Especially, I'm at that point I was 115 pounds. This guy's way bigger than me, Really nothing I could do, as I said.
Did this
him being gay was like not the thing that I was concerned about.
Did this leave the bar?
My God, yeah.
So it went from the bar to his home or your home
to his fucking car, dude.
To his car, okay.
and so this is like that person, Look.
No,
it's fine.
I'm not trying to laugh about the situation because for real,
it's not a funny situation.
I am sorry that you went through that traumatic situation. I'm sorry that you went through that. And that just touches back on my point that just receiving a drink from someone can lead to some shit like that.
I was buying my own drinks. I was getting fucked up.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I was buying my own shots.
But I'm sure
I go on record for that.
But I'm sure he bought you a drink.
So
though.
listen, I want to go. Listen.
That is okay. So
Sylvie, before you continue, I just want to say this: you're talking to a man that was incarcerated for 8 years out of his life. All right. So I've I've seen and been around people that feel that way. Now my thing is this. All right. Control is a big thing. Control is a big thing for me. That's why I went through the phase of fucking dykes just to remind them that they're females. You get what I'm saying? Control is a big thing. But to be a man and to take advantage of another man, that is not a control thing. You're fucking gay, dogs. Like you're 100% attracted to the male that you are attacking, because at the end of the day, if I want to control another man, I will do that through physical violence. I will bully you before I fucking rape you.
Okay, and whether or not that's true or not, that this person in their urge to, they found me attractive or whatever for
they're gay.
Okay, sure. Then that's true.
Yeah.
But to then force themselves upon me,
that's wrong.
That's not gay. That is just them being a shitty person.
That was
right.
Because nobody has the right to force themselves on anybody.
He just said that him forcing himself on him is not gay. That's 100%
I did not say that. What I said was that what I said is that the reason that I'm not homophobic, the reason I don't tie up those two things, right? Because I don't inherently feel in danger when I'm talking to another man or anybody else who finds me attractive, right? Is because I can gauge whether or not they're like gonna attack me or whatever. Because that has nothing to do with sexuality.
Yeah, but whether a dude attacks you or not, like, this is my thing. My thing is this: whether you feel threatened or not, the fact of the matter is, any dude that chooses to attack you in that way is gay.
Okay, sure, and that may be so. Yeah. Sure. I think you're missing my point. Is that the reason that I'm able to, like, still be okay with this community, that I'm still, able to be around men, that I'm still, because, I mean, there are some women who have been attacked who, like, they suffer from that, like, forever. Like, that's like a PTSD thing, I guess in my head and the way that I got around it was like, okay, that person very specifically, outside of their sexuality, outside of any, they're just a bad person. The people who do that shit, bad people.
I feel like it's a coping mechanism.
Well,
I feel like
I mean, obviously, it's the way that I got over that I don't,
exactly.
I don't suffer for that.
So,
but that is also like, I feel like in the conversations that I've had about this, that's the common denominator. It's
Wait,
that the people
so
who are
let me understand this. Okay, so you said it was in a car and he took advantage of you. Now I kind of want to understand what you mean by that. So was it in an oral way or was it in a penetration way?
I don't know how. I don't necessarily see how that's
Relevant?
relevant.
Can I tell you how it's relevant?
Sure.
It's because, okay, so I look at it from a female perspective. Now, if a female were to
You
say...
can look at it through a female perspective?
No, just as like if it was a dude and a female, like a dude taking advantage of a female, you know? That's how I look at it.
Sure.
All right. So if a female were to tell me a dude took advantage of her and she gave him oral, I'm going to look at that differently, given the fact that oral is something that you have to do yourself. You get what I'm saying? Like, oral is something that you have to personally do yourself. So if a female says that a dude took advantage of her and like, if she said that he had a gun to her head and said, suck my dick, then I would have been like, okay, cool, this dude is a bugged out nigga. But if you're telling me that you sucked his dick and said that you felt like...
Well, I didn't say that I did that.
No, you didn't. No.
And that's also not what happened.
Right, you didn't specify
And I also
that.
don't necessarily see how that's entirely relevant because that shit can fucking happen. If there's a moment where one feels like physically endangered in any sort of way, it doesn't need to be a gun. It could be someone's bare fists. That kind of coercion, like, is that not? And so then what? And so that person who confided that in you, right? Who's like, yeah, that's something that this person forced me to do. Then your reaction is to say, I don't really know about that.
So my thing is,
I don't know that. I think personally that, like if that's your measure of whether or not someone deserves sympathy or or the dignity to be able to claim that they've been assaulted, then that's kind of crazy. That's kind of crazy. Because when I hear that someone's been assaulted, my immediate reaction is, oh my God, like, I'm so sorry.
For sure.
And to ask the details. To ask the details of that to discern whether or not the thing that they're claiming has happened is valid.
So
I wouldn't never do that. I would
never look up Sacred Heart University and look up how many rape cases happened and how many of them was overturned. That would just let you know how we come to a society. I'm not gonna hold you, and it's no disrespect to any real victims that's really been raped before, but we live in a society where now, if a female has...
You can call anything rape.
Right. Yeah. If a female regrets, there's a difference between...
Yeah.
All right, so given 15 years ago, if a chick had sex with a dude because she was drunk and regretted it, she's like, oh my God, like, I can't believe I did that.
She can go to the precinct and say, oh, he raped me.
No. Now they would. No. 15
crazy.
years ago, a chick would have sex with a dude. She regretted it because she was wasted. And she'd be like, oh my God, like, I never want to think about that again. I hooked up with the dude, whatever. I was drunk, whatever. Now we're talking about nowadays. A girl could literally press charges and say it was rape, given the fact that she regretted the situation. Mm-hmm. That's a big difference, because if I'm wasted and the girl is wasted and we happen to do something because we're both wasted, but then because 2 days later she regrets it, whether it be because the school found out or whatever the case may be, due to her regret, even though we both were wasted, due to her regret, I could spend 10 years of my life in prison and now I'm out to register as a fucking sex offender due to the fact that she regretted. Not that I raped her, but that she regretted having sex with me.
That's a
regular thing. That's a regular thing nowadays. I'm just letting you know. That's a regular thing nowadays.
Somebody should pull the statistics for that. And what I would say to that is that is more of a failing of the judicial system than anything else.
Yeah. But the judicial system failed men and black people since the beginning of time.
Yes.
So
it's because it's broken, by the way.
Yeah,
and this society that we're living in is fucking broken, and it's got to break entirely before anything get better. Anyway, no, and so in that way, that I would agree with you, right? That the the scruples of the judicial system is all fucking sorts of out of whack. And that women, especially wealthier, more affluent, college-bound women, and maybe even not using the term women, people, men and women, right, use that status to weasel out of situations that they find humiliating.
Yes.
So
And
given-
that privilege,
Yes.
that privilege is the issue.
So
That-
Sylvie,
that- that- that-
given the fact that you understand that with that
But
privilege,
that
people
is
could take
that's a
advantage of
privilege,
it.
right?
Right, but no, listen though. But given the fact that people could take advantage of that privilege given their status, do you see why I would look at a situation as, okay, well, I kind of want to hear the facts to a situation before I jump and say, oh, you said you've been assaulted? Oh my God, I'm on your side all the way. Does that make sense? Like
feeling some sort of sympathy for somebody who is expressing like a traumatic event that has happened to them, that's not supporting their cause all the way. That is saying like, yo, this is a thing that happened. Okay, let's say somebody fell off a bike, right? They're riding or whatever, and they fall off their bike.
right.
You feel bad for them in
You just feel
in
bad
that
for them.
instant. Yeah.
It could have been their fault.
Yeah.
They could have been or they're driving their car and they crash their car. Right. That's actually a better example.
If you drive
say
it
somebody's
by-
say somebody's in their
Damn.
car, they're driving, they crash it.
I hope they're okay.
I hope
Yeah.
they're okay. If it happens, if later it comes out that
They
they
were
were
drunk.
drinking or doing pills, then you're like,
You deserve
you're
that.
a fucking loser.
Yeah.
And you're stupid for that. That doesn't mean that I'm like, I don't hope like, yeah, you wrecked your car. That's the consequences of
you're
your
saying
action.
Initially,
As a
it's
human
sympathy.
being on this planet
So
who cares
initially-
about other human beings, when I hear that somebody has been assaulted, or if they're confiding in me that they've been assaulted, my immediate reaction as a person living on this planet who has had that happen to them, who knows other people that who have been in that situation before, who have really like actually had to suffer through that. You're so funny.
Hey,
dude.
do you okay in the
This
the-
fucking guy. Oh my god.
in the situation
Yo,
you
I'm sorry.
in the situation that you were in, do you have any regrets about that situation?
I should not have been drinking that much.
Okay.
I wish it never it never happened to me in my entire life. I wish it never happened to
so
me.
you do take accountability for your actions leading up to the disaster that happened.
And also, that is a very, very like personal
Yeah.
thing that me in my circumstances, in my life, in my whole like for the way that I think about it in my historical context, for lack of a better term, the way that I've lived my life, leading up to that moment, I am the only one who is able, or in my opinion, feels right that I'm the only person who has the right to make that like
For sure.
discernment, right? If I express regret, if somebody, let's say 3 days after that happened to me, was like, "Well, were you drinking a lot?" I would stab them. Who is that person to judge me or to determine the credibility of the thing that happened to me because of the circumstances about it? Sure, that's a factor of it. That person never should have done that to me in the first place.
For sure.
People should not do that people should not take advantage of people in any way at all. That's the issue.
For sure.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
Not that I was drinking too much. Fucking drinking right now, you know what I mean? But and I don't, and I wouldn't expect that anybody that at all that I'm around for the rest of the evening would treat me that way, because I expect that most people are civilized people, not fucking barbarians in that sense. You know what I mean? And different circumstances may present themselves. Lou makes a good point that there
Yeah.
are some people who are equally as unscrupulous
Facts.
to take something that they regret and turn it around, victimize themselves and take advantage of their status, the judicial system, the fact that, depending on certain things, they could really, really get somebody in trouble for something that never happened.
Definitely.
That is also completely, but that doesn't make the act of taking advantage of of somebody any less wrong.
For sure.
You know? Sure. If someone decides to press charges, then there's a lot of issues with the United States judicial system. There's so many things that could go wrong. You know, if the dad knows the judge or whatever, or you know.
Well, Sylvie, this is where you might hate me. All right, I'm gonna play a little.
Oh, I would never hate you.
Devil's advocate. All right, so I look at a situation like this. Okay. I'm gonna use a street term, and then I'm gonna transfer it to your situation. Now, I'm at a certain point in my life, I was a street dude. So, if I chose to go to a certain party, knowing that there could be potential that I had ops there, whatever the case may be, I'm making the decision to put myself in a position to where I could do something that would put me in prison or whatever the case may be. So let's say that there's a party that's happening and there's people that could be that I could have potentially get into problems with. Cool. Now, I make the decision to go there. I make the decision to not only go there, but to drink knowing that it's going to fuck up my thought process in terms of how to handle a situation from the right way and the wrong way. Now, I know that being intoxicated will more likely have me resolve to violence rather than talking the situation out or whatever the case may be. At a certain point, I got to take responsibility for me making that decision to do those things. Now, I'm going to transfer it to you. Now, when you decided to take those drinks, right? When you made the conscious decision.
When I bought myself drinks at a bar in a fucking packed bar.
Understandable. But my thing is, though, when you bought yourself the drinks, was that the first time you ever drank before?
No.
Right.
Lou.
So,
dude,
given that,
when I go to a bar, I don't expect there to be people trying to prey upon me.
Well, listen.
I think that's a rather like maybe naive to or so if I was wasted enough to do like I think it's actually
I want to know this. Was that the first time you ever got drunk?
No.
Okay,
it's actually after a shift.
So you had some type of idea of what amount of alcohol you could intake before you got wasted, correct? Given that at that point in your life, you've been wasted before, correct?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So given the fact that you've been wasted before in your life, and so when you went to that place and you were taking shots or you were taking drinks or whatever the case, because let me just keep in mind, guys, that Sylvie herself is a bartender, so she is familiar with the lifestyle.
Actually, after work.
You know?
I do remember that. It was after work.
No, it was after work, but I just wanted to people to understand that you are a part of that lifestyle. So I'm in the restaurant business too. We drink, we go out with that. Like, I feel like the restaurant business supports the restaurant business. Like, we keep the restaurant business going, honestly. So I just wanted to let it be known that Sylvie is a part of the restaurant business. So going back to what I was saying, what I'm saying is this. It wasn't your first time getting drunk. So you had some type of idea of how much alcohol you could handle. So at a certain point, right, you have to understand the world that we live in, predators are always around. Whether it be you being who you are or me being who I am, predators are always around. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like it's our responsibility that, given that we're not children.
As an adult.
Right. As an adult. Given that we are not children, as an adult, we have a responsibility to understand how much we can intake and how we react to alcohol when we intake too much. Because if you, like me personally, me taking 1,000, like I said 1,000, that's OD. But me taking let's say 10 shots of some tequila would have me wasted to the point where I would black out. But I would fully understand that if there is a fat chick at the bar that's been looking at me all night, that if I intake these 10 shots,
there's a possibility
that whatever tactic that she uses
will work
to get me to hit will probably work. because I know that how intoxicated that I am at that point. So I look at, and not to
Are you like telling the viewers something like to meet you somewhere after and buy you some shots? Is that what you're saying? Nah,
No, I'm on
No,
my sober
I hear-
journey. I'm on my sober journey.
Don't-
Do you want? Anyway,
I'm on my sober journey.
Well, whatever. Listen. That is some pretty great tortured logic, and if I really thought about it in a specific way, then I could understand and agree with what you're saying, that we all have a responsibility for
As
our
adults. No. Now that we're adults, though.
Okay, so
understand
so
that
what
the
you're so
responsibility.
what you're saying is that as an adult,
Yes.
each of us has a responsibility for our own actions.
Yes.
So the person that decided to take advantage of me.
Oh, he definitely. Listen,
He definitely-
Yes,
he-
he
so he-
definitely.
so
No, he's wrong.
He's
He does-
wrong.
Okay,
He
so,
is wrong.
So,
100%.
the
He is
conversation
100%
has a
wrong.
lot less to do, should generally have a lot less to do about the fact that I went to a bar, a place that is literally designed
to drink.
to drink at.
For sure.
Right? Hold on. But listen. By your logic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because also something, well, whatever. Listen, I'm not attempting. I don't think, when I think about the bad things that have happened to me in my life, I'm pretty hard on myself. You know,
Yeah.
I take responsibility, I take accountability for things that have happened to me that have that I should not be doing.
That's a good.
You know?
And I think that's what Lou was looking for. I think I don't want to talk for him, but I think he was like just he was looking for that word, accountability.
So,
right.
Let me tell you what I was looking for. This is my thing. Sylvia and I come from the same industry.
Mm-hmm.
All right. There have been nights that Sylvie bartended that she herself saw people getting taken advantage of.
Mm-hmm.
That's a regular thing in our industry.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she's a bartender. I'm a waiter. You know, so I'm out way before Sylvie's out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I myself could tell you how people get taken advantage of. So I look at it like this: knowing the industry and knowing what happens in this industry. No, I know. Like as a server, when it comes to my late night tables, I literally watch for, especially for you could tell when a date is a first date.
Yeah.
You could tell when they're going bad too.
Right.
It's crazy.
I look for first dates. Believe it or not, and it's a sick way to look at it, but I look for a dude waiting for her to go to the bathroom and dropping something in her drink.
Mm-hmm.
I look for that as a waiter.
Mm-hmm.
Just because that's just a part of the industry.
Mm-hmm.
Like I look for that. To be like when I catch them, because I've caught it before.
Mm-hmm.
So when she comes back, I come and grab her drink
and get her a new one.
and I get her a new one.
Mm-hmm.
And then the dude look at me, and I look at him and give him that look like, bro, I know what you did.
Mm-hmm.
And he falls back.
Yeah.
Bro, my tip be like 40%.
Mm-hmm.
As in like, shh, please,
Yep.
be quiet.
Yep.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you get what I'm saying? So like, given the industry that Sylvia and I come from, I look at it as
You should have never been in that.
You should be more prepared than any other person.
Yeah, you should never been in that
In a
position.
situation, I understand that a bar is a place where you should
But
be able to enjoy yourself.
things happen.
And drink.
Things
but
happen,
given the
but-
fact that things happen, and given the fact that being in the industry know that things happen, there has to be a certain level of like
Awareness
to where like, if anybody's gonna get taken advantage of,
It ain't gonna be you. It's not gonna be you.
It's not gonna be you. It's not gonna be someone that comes from the industry. And that's just my personal opinion. That doesn't make it a fact, Sylvie. I just wanted to make that clear. Doesn't make it a fact, and I don't want to downplay what you went through.
Yeah,
I do not want to downplay that at all. I want to make that 100% clear.
right.
Because that other person is wrong. 100% wrong. Because at the end of the day, they could have been physically bigger than you, stronger than you, and put you in a position to where even if you weren't drinking, there was nothing that you could do. You understand what I'm saying?
They definitely took advantage of you,
So
and we're letting it be known that.
I don't want to downplay the situation. I just wanted to just express that. That's all.
Right. So I hear that for sure. And I also, just, moving on from this topic, I think that the bad things that happen to people like that, if it's very, very clearly, someone that's doing something wrong to me, right? My position, the circumstances, I feel like, especially in that situation, do they matter that much? That person sees that, because you see that situation happening and you go, that's wrong. 100%. This person's way too fucked up. Let's call him an Uber, or let's get them out of here.
For sure.
Because a lot of people go to the bar and drink and get fucked up, and not everybody gets taken advantage of. So when that happens, right? Because most people just go home and they go to bed, and they wake up hungover, and that's the worst thing that happens to them, and that's the worst thing that happens to them out of the night.
Sylvie, let me just say this. I just look at it, and I might be wrong. I might be wrong.
Oh fuck.
I might be wrong for this. All right. I just personally feel that someone coming from the industry should have a better understanding of how the industry works.
Yeah, that was also, again, some time ago, an abhorrent act. What's the next topic? Or are we getting out of here?
No, honestly, I just had a few questions for you, really.
Yeah, for sure.
And I know it might be a little childish with the questions, but so one of the questions I had for you, right, was
oh God,
he could
say anything right now.
Listen, who's better at walking in heels, you or the women you deal with?
I actually will say this, a little embarrassing. I've not worn heels, but that's because I don't think they look good.
Copy. All right.
And that's because I'm normal. I would rather wear see these boots. Why are we fucking wearing heels? They're not even comfortable. Nobody cares. Nobody cares.
And I'm just gonna, and with this question right here, it's just given how you're definitely going through transition, do you get envious of other women, given that you're a man? Given that you're transitioning from a man to a woman.
In the way, so I feel like most people can relate to this, and you see somebody that you think is super attractive, whether male or female, and then you're looking at them and you're like, God, fucking wish I looked like that. I wish I had those muscles. I wish I had that figure. Yes, 100%. There are definitely some people some women that I've looked at and I'm like, transition goals. I don't think I could ever get that. A, because I'm not white, and B, because I'm 5'3".
Okay.
I'm limited in who I'm gonna look like.
So how about this? What are some misconceptions you want people to stop assuming about men who dress feminine?
Well, I would say that specifically for, in this case where I'm a trans woman, most of us, and as with any group of people, if you want to group trans women into a specific group, dude, we're just trying to live our lives. I'm not trying to do anything. I'm not trying to if I'm trying to change the world, and that's not necessarily something that I've written off out of my life. I hope I have an impact on this planet in a positive way. But I'm not trying to do that, by being trans. I'm doing that because I would want to change the world because, I play an instrument. I would want to write music that becomes very popular, very famous. I would want to. I'm a person living my life like anybody else. If I have one difference from you or anybody else on this planet, and I know there's obviously many more, and that's being trans, then I've got much more in common with everybody than not. I'm not conducting my life so different at all. No. I have a job. I have a car. I pay my bills. I play an instrument. I really enjoy history. That's those and that I have hobbies. The fact that I'm trans, that the misconception is that that's what I'm trying to do. That I'm doing those things, saying I'm a trans woman. I'm not. Some people do that. That's their prerogative. They can do that. And in that, I think people like Hunter Schafer, right? She, very famous actor. Everyone should know who that is. But she's trans. And people get wrapped up on that. But she's so fucking talented that, like, there's got to be a separation. Like, the misconception that those two are so tied up. It's just not. I'm just a person. Right. I'm just a person on this fucking planet, and most of us are really just people.
Well, Sylvie,
on this
do you
planet.
feel that you were able to express yourself during this interview?
Yeah, you guys are great.
All right.
I hope you feel the same way as well.
I do. I just want to say this though. I want to say that that I do have a better understanding of where you come from, but I felt like it didn't change my perspective, just culturally though. Because culturally, I feel like any dude getting estrogen and getting titties, because you got titties now, you're gay.
How many times has Lou said titties on this podcast?
I said titties because,
Can we get a titty count?
Sylvie, that's gay. I'm sorry, but that's gay as fuck. Like,
you've got a very specific definition of gay. And
yes, because
I'm sure I fall into that.
So my definition of gay is you're not. Okay, so there's certain
I'm somehow subversive to what an average person would look like, is what you're saying.
Forget what an average person would look like. An average person would do. An average man wouldn't get titties. Like, an average man wouldn't get titties. I'm sorry.
Did you hear that? I'm not average. Thank God. That's all I've... And with that, thanks for having me. That's all what I wanted from that was to hear that I'm exceptional. Thank God.
I just say this.
Thank God.
So my definition of gay might be different from your definition of gay, but I just look at it like this. I look at it from more of a conservative view. So
oh, really?
It's like, yeah.
So small C?
Yeah.
Small C conservative? Are you fiscally conservative?
I'm like, this is how conservative I am. I feel that...
Do you know what fiscally conservative means?
I don't know what that means. Would you like to explain?
A fiscally conservative means that you believe in economic policies that tend to run conservative. So big business and small government, everyone's got to keep your hands off your asset. You should be able to... So like capitalism, small c.
Well, I don't look at...
And also like nuclear family, homegrown, like... Traditionally, well, I guess.
Yeah, so then, yeah, if that's the case, yeah. Because I look at it like this.
But you're not like...
I look at it like this. I look at it as God does not make mistakes, So I feel like if you're doing anything, even down to a BBL, even down to a BBL, if you feel like God made a mistake on your body, then I just think that's false, For you to feel like... Which is not wrong. I don't want you to think that how you feel is wrong. What I'm telling you is this. In my belief, which is completely different from however you feel, in my belief.
Right, which aligns with small c conservative.
Exactly. In my belief, the fact that you feel that you have to do things to your body, or that you feel like you're in the wrong body to where you would want to transition into a woman... I feel like that's a mental illness. I just feel like that's a mental illness because I feel like self-love, I feel like this. There's something I call self-love. Now, I'll give you an example. I'm 5'8". My beard barely grows in, That is insecurities that I have about myself. But due to self-love, I go to the gym to work out because that is something that I could control. So I work out to the point where I am stocky and cut, and I go to the boxing gym in order to work on my cardio. I grew my hair out, which is something that I didn't think that I could accomplish. So that's what I feel like the definition of self-love is. So
right. So you're taking measures to improve the way that you feel about yourself in a physical or emotional sense, right?
Naturally.
Okay, but the things that
within
a culturally and societally, in your opinion,
we're
accepted
not,
norm.
So we're not.
No,
we're not gonna say even accepted norm. I'm gonna say I made a conscious decision to enhance myself naturally without man-made alterations. Even down to the point where I don't even take steroids. You know?
Right. People have been, transitioning for some time now. It's not really a newfangled. It's also is like a natural. Well, anyway, that maybe for part 2.
Okay, right.
And then we could also talk about theology, because I'll get into that too.
So for me personally, so for me, and like I said, I want to make this clear to the audience. This is my opinion. So my opinion is that I felt like anything that I didn't like about myself, I naturally fixed. Sure. Not through surgery, not through shots, not through estrogen, not through testosterone, not through anything. I did everything naturally because at a certain point, I love myself for who I am, and if I can naturally better myself, I will do that. So to any person that feels as if they are not in the right body, to me, personally, opinionated all the way, that's unnatural. That's just unnatural to me.
Yeah.
That's unnatural to me. Not saying that I don't respect that person as a human being, because I respect every human as a human being. But I'm just saying that that's unnatural to me. And I want to say, Sylvie, I appreciate you coming on to the show. I know it's not an easy show to be on, but I appreciate you. I appreciate you being able to let my viewers know a different perspective compared to like the stuff that I spew out, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And I'm happy to be here, really. This has been a lot of fun, honestly. Second.opinion.band on Instagram. We're going to be at Roadrunner on January 30th. Please come. It's going to be fucking awesome. And I am the only trans person in the band, so don't you worry if that's something that you're worried about.
Nah, for sure.
Or maybe that's something that you want. God, you're weird for that.
Definitely go check Sylvie. January 30th at Roadrunner. Band will be performing. Definitely not, but
never be caught dead coming to the show like that.
Definitely go check Sylvie for sure. And I appreciate you all tuning in. Definitely like and subscribe. We've been getting a lot of views on the Reels. I really want you guys to incorporate that into the actual YouTube videos, because the full episode definitely hits for sure. And thank you for tuning in to All Lines Cross. Peace out. See ya.